Alex B here, and in this video I'm going to teach you the 5 texting steps to get any girl on a date. Well, that may be a bit of an overpromise, as in you can't actually realistically get any girl on a date. Okay, so I'm going to make you a bit of a more realistic promise here, which is that this structure that I'm going to teach you will substantially increase the ratio of girls who meet you for a date. And that I can guarantee you, because I've used this structure for myself to go on over 150 dates and find my dream girlfriend. And this structure has been used by over 120 of my clients to transform their dating lives and find them a long-term relationship. Okay? And right now, I'm hearing the voices in your head already. You're thinking, I don't need a guru to tell me how to text. I don't want a structure. I just want to be myself. I just want to let it flow naturally. Well, I'd encourage you not to click off this video and to actually give it a chance, because chances are, if you clicked onto this video, it means that your structure or your strategy for texting isn't currently working for actually getting girls on dates. And I promise that this one will. Okay, so give it a chance, have an open mind, and I'm going to walk you through it right now. What are you going to learn in this video? You're going to learn why a structure is necessary, okay? What is the structure, the 5 steps, a full example from open all the way to close, and finally, what mistakes to avoid. And this is probably the biggest part that you're going to want to stay for, because guys are making mistakes left and right. If you literally just learn to avoid the key mistakes, you could probably go even without a structure and still substantially increase the ratio of girls that actually meet you for a date. So let's get into it. Why do we need a structure at all? So common complaints, I just want to be myself. I don't want to pretend that I'm something I'm not. Okay, I get it. I thought that too myself. This is not what a structure is about. And let me break it down for you, okay? Imagine you're building a house, okay? You are a beginner architect and you've never built a house before. Do you want to just YOLO it? Do you want to just throw random shit at the wall, put some bricks together and hope that it doesn't fall down? Probably not, okay? You're going to want to learn how to build a foundation, structure, beams, roofs, stuff that makes sure the house stays up and doesn't fall down, okay? And once you're good at that, go ahead and build whatever style of house you want. You want a circular house, you want a fucking church, you want a apartment, you want a Spanish style mansion, build whatever you want, okay? This is exactly how texting works, okay? All of my clients once thought this, okay? I just want to be myself. I just want to do what feels natural. I thought that myself. Once they implemented the structure, they saw that, first of all, they were actually getting dates. And second of all, that once they mastered the structure, i.e. the foundation, structure, beams, roofs, that they could just insert their personality and build whatever house they want. Text in whatever style suits them. They can insert their humor, their personality, which actually works better. That's the whole point of this, is that the girl likes you for you, right? Your personality, your humor. But hey, if she likes you for you, but your conversation structure doesn't take it to a date, it doesn't matter, because you're never going to meet her. Okay? So let's actually learn the structure now. There's 5 steps, okay? The first step is opening, okay? That's the first message. When you get the conversation started, okay? This is where a tease, challenge, or a banter works best, okay? Not a question. From there, we go into what I call riffing, okay? This is basically a fun and flirty exchange, not logical small talk, okay? The third step is where you qualify her to get her invested in winning you over, okay? We are the ones qualifying the girls to make sure that they are the ones that we actually want to meet for a date, okay? When you're getting, 5, 10, 12 matches every day, you must sift through the matches to figure out which ones you actually want to meet and which ones are actually invested enough to meet you, so that you don't waste a bunch of time talking to girls that are never going to meet you, okay? Now, From there, you're going to close, which is to offer the date and get her number. And then last step is to actually set up the date, arrange the logistics, time, day, etc. Okay, so those are the 5 steps. Texting is a funnel. Okay, so these 5 steps are going to go like this in sequential order. But, for example, you're going to open 20 girls up here. You're going to riff with 15 of them, and then you're going to qualify 10 of them and close 4 of them, and two show up for a date. Something like that, okay, is pretty realistic. If you're not getting enough messages up here, you're not getting enough matches up here, then we have a different problem, which is that your profile isn't good, and that's for another video to solve, which I will link by the end of this video, okay? So let's look at a full example now, all right? So this is a client example, and it's followed very, very textbook, okay? He followed the structure exactly. So you seem like an active thrifter that's scoping out deals every weekend with the tongue winky face. This is a pretty standard, banter tease, okay? Notice what he didn't do. He didn't say like, hey, where do you go thrift shopping? What's your favorite place to thrift shop, right? The kind of questions that probably every other guy is already asking, okay? So he throws out a banter, okay? And she comes back with, not every weekend, but I do find a good deal every now and then. Recently, I found a good price Dior coat at East Village that I was proud of. Cool. He says, that's awesome. Looks like we might have to do a thrift challenge and see who can find a better fit for each other. Look, the heart sounds like a fun idea, right? Immediately creates this fun, imaginary, bantery sort of back and forth between him and her that's flirty. Okay, this isn't actually asking her out for a date, but this is creating the idea of them two being together on a date in some romantic context. And she agrees to that, okay? She agrees to that frame, okay? That's a more advanced concept frame, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to go through a high-level overview. So then, he has now accomplished the open, okay, right here, and the riff, okay, a little fun, little back and forth. Again, notice he hasn't gone into logical small talk. Here is where we start doing the qualify, and you may think, like he's like saying, do you work out, travel often, addicted to coffee? You may think that this is actually small talk, just getting to know her. And yes, it is a bit, but what it actually is a qualification. These are things that matter to him, okay? And he's qualifying her to see if she meets these criteria, or at least shows some sort of interest in similar things, and whether she's invested. This is the key point, whether she's invested to actually showing up on this date. So she says, I don't like coffee, I'm a tea person. I like to be active, okay? In the summer I play tennis, right now I'm doing ice skating. I love to travel a lot. I used to travel with American Airlines, blah, blah, blah. We're going to Ireland, Scotland, Japan this year, okay? So she says a lot of stuff, okay? And then she says, how about you? All right. And he says, I like coffee, but I don't rely on it. Love staying active, boxing classes, traveling to New Orleans, San Fran, blah, 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 blah. Seems like we'll get along over our love for travel and staying fit, okay? Which she basically really likes because she hearts here. So that's really important to notice these signals. Okay, looks like we will, she says. I love New Orleans. I have some family there, so I've been a few times. San Francisco is nice, but I've been to Spain twice, blah, blah, blah. Random stuff. Doesn't really matter what she's saying here. But the key is that she's keeping the conversation going. Any place that you haven't been that you would like to go? He says, I could talk a lot about that. Let's meet over drinks to share travel stories and witty banter, which this is really important. I'm going to come back and analyze this text in a second. She says, I'm down for drinks. Free either tomorrow, Wednesday, or Friday. Let's do Friday. Shoot me your number. Let's plan. Bingo. Boom. Number secured. Okay. Let's backtrack a little bit here. Overview. This is a open, okay? A fun, flirty, bantery opener, not a question. Here we continue with the bantering. Here we move into qualification, and this is super key right here, okay? This right here, this paragraph response to the qualification is the number one indicator that she's actually going to meet you for a date, okay? Not that she responded, not that she even gave you her number, not that she told you her availability, but this part. The fact that she went through all this effort to type all this out and tell you about herself is the number one indicator that she will actually show up for the date. Okay, keep that a secret. Don't tell your friends about that one, because this is stuff that, frankly, I only tell my clients. Okay, here she's liking his messages, and the key here is that she really wants to keep this conversation going. I mean, that's great. That's amazing. Shows that she is really interested in him. Now, here she asks, any place you haven't been that you would like to go? A lot of guys would just answer that question and then shoot back with, how about you? Right? And then the question train goes back and forth. How about you? What about you? And this and that and me. And then it goes on forever and you never actually meet for a date. My client here knows that that's a mistake. So instead he says, I could talk a lot about that. Let's meet over drinks to share travel stories and witty banter. Bam! An intelligent, witty ask out, very, very timely, fits in the context. She agrees, and then he gets the number, and they move on. So the 5 steps: open, riff, qualify, close, boom, set up the date, all done. Mistakes to avoid. This is the piece that I told you at the beginning that would probably help you the most, because these are probably things that you're doing right now. So first, opening with a question. I mentioned that already like 2 or 3 times. Just don't do it, okay? The basic thing that I'll teach you here is just use a statement instead of a question, okay? Even better if it's a tease or a banter. Don't do get to know you talk before riffing, okay? Most of you probably haven't even heard of riffing before, okay? It's something that, frankly, I invented this terminology. But what you don't want to do is get into like, oh, what do you do for work? Where are you from? Blah, 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 before doing the riffing, okay? The riffing is like the fun, teasing, back and forth, flirty, romantic exchanges. Yeah, because that's just going to bore her to tears. She's going to be bleeding out of her eyes, and that's why you're getting ghosted, okay? Don't drag on the conversation forever, okay? Notice when the girl wanted to keep talking, but he stopped it, moved it to the ask out, and moved it onto a date. He could have easily talked with her forever. That's how you guarantee you don't meet the girl, okay? Not moving the conversation off the app. Okay, that's a huge mistake. A lot of guys try to either set up the date on the app, or at just no point they actually sort of wrap up the conversation and go somewhere else with it. You want to get her phone number and get into her text messages, because on the app there's hundreds of other guys trying to DM her, and you're just going to get bumped to the very bottom like that, okay? So if she's enjoying texting you, get her onto her phone, where that's where her friends and family are, and those are where the people are that she actually responds to, okay? So get into her phone. And lastly, the big key mistake you want to avoid is not having a good profile. Because like I mentioned at the beginning when I was showing you the funnel, okay, if you don't have a good profile, you're not going to have matches to begin with, so you have nothing to play with. These 5 steps will not help you if you don't have a good profile. So I'm going to link a video here on this slide that you can click on that'll teach you how to make the best Asian male dating profile possible, okay, so that you can start getting matches and actually implement these 5 steps. That being said, avoid these mistakes, okay, and implement those 5 steps, and hopefully you understand now why a structure is necessary, okay? Use this basic framework and structure, try it, come back, tell me, write a comment on this YouTube video, tell me if it worked or not. Yeah, because this is my bread and butter. This is literally what I teach my clients. I was debating even whether to release this on YouTube, but here I am. So take advantage of it. And lastly, look, if you enjoyed this video, if this was helpful for you, I invite you to talk with me one-on-one, okay, where I can literally tell you about my mentorship, see if it's a good fit for you, and take you from end to end, man. I mean, this is texting. This is great. If you implement this, great. You'll probably have some results. But if you want me to take you end to end from the very start all the way to finding a long-term relationship and speed up that process like I have for over 120 Asian men, then use the link down below, book a call with me. I'll be excited to talk with you about that. And until then, I'll see you in the next video.